If you've been struggling with copywriting, whether it's for a blog post, a video script, or even your ads, I have the perfect little tool for you today. Now, I am someone who actually loves copywriting every once in a while. Full disclosure, I don't have the time to do it a lot, but when I do, I enjoy it. It's therapeutic for me, and I've even been told that I'm a great copywriter. But full disclosure, my copy doesn't always convert. So that's my big secret for today, which I'm sharing with you because it doesn't have to be so secret anymore with this nifty little tool that I have discovered and that I want to share with you today. So regardless of whether you're like me and actually enjoy copywriting or you hate copywriting, it doesn't matter. This tool will give you results. It will give you conversion scores based on all the data that it has been collecting over time, and it will give you copy that converts. Because if it doesn't convert, nobody cares, right? Let's jump right in and check it out. So the tool we're talking about today is Anyword.com. So that's Anyword.com. And if you go to the site right now, as of this recording, they are actually offering a 20% off offer. So be quick and grab it while you can, because I actually haven't seen this so far. This is the first time that I'm seeing this offer. So clearly they're running a promo, so definitely check it out if you can. So just to give you an overview of what you can expect and how this tool works, the first thing you'll notice is that they have this big demo thing at the bottom of their page here. So one thing to keep in mind, because this did trip me up, is this isn't asking you like it says here, it's asking you to describe your product to get instant copy. This is just telling you this is what you would do in your account once you're logged in. Here, if you click on it, and you're going to see this in a minute, but as soon as I click on it, it will auto-generate an example product and description, and then show us the copies that it is creating for this demo product. So let's take a look. So I've gone ahead and clicked on it. You can see that it's just doing its own thing. I'm not typing, but yeah, it's just showing you this is an example product for a milk frother, or actually it's an espresso machine with a milk frother. And this is the description. If you have keywords, you can actually add in more than one when you're doing this for yourself. But in this case, they've chosen delicious as the keyword. And if you click on click to generate, you will see all of the copies populating here on the side, which is really cool. And if you click on this green button right here, it will show you all of these predictive scores. Now you may have seen this tooltip also, but if you hover over these scores, it will show you what demographic this score is based on. So this is based on primarily people, male and female, between the ages of 25 to 34 and also 35 to 44, which in my experience, most of us entrepreneurs are targeting that age group anyway, so that's perfect, right? These are the scores that we really want to be paying attention to. So you can see that these copies are actually listed in descending order. So you'll have their highest predictive score at the top, and then you can scroll down to see what the other copies are. Just because something is the highest score, so far in my little bit of experience using this tool so far, I would say don't get married to the first copy necessarily. Keep these numbers in mind, but you will want to go through, scroll all the way down, look at all the different copies, and based on which one really resonates with the message that you're trying to get out there, pick one that actually resonates with that and also has one of the higher scores. And I'll give you a few more tips as to how I use these copies in conjunction with each other even to generate multiple ad copies that I test with my campaigns. So that's the overview here. And also when we're in the actual account, you'll see that there are a lot of other options, not just these 4 copies, but there are a lot of different options that we can play around with as well. So let's go ahead and sign in. And now once I'm in my account, I can simply say new project. And you can see all the different kinds of copy you can write. You can write a blog post. You can write your copy for a landing page, which is super exciting because that takes me hours personally. You can write email copy. You can write copy for an SMS, which is a little bit simpler, but still you want it to convert. So you can do that here as well. If you are running a promo, let's say on your website, you can use the content promotion. And then today what we're going to do is create a new ad project. So here I can name it whatever I like, but in this example, I'm actually going to use my landing page for a done for you bot in ManyChat. And so what I'm going to do here is just say done for you bot. This is something that I see, nobody else sees. So this is just for you to know what this project is about. In my case, marketing and advertising is perfect. If you need to change it, go ahead and do that. And then here, this is what I think is super exciting because you have two ways of letting the AI here know what your product or your offer is about. So you can just simply put in a link to your landing page, which is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to grab this link to my funnel and I'm going to paste it in here. But let's say I was running an ad, and I have done this for messenger ads as well, but let's say I don't have a funnel, I don't have a landing page. I simply want people to click to go to Messenger, Facebook Messenger that is, and have a conversation with my page. In that case, I don't have to use the landing page URL. What I would do is, oh, it disappeared. So if I take this out, you'll see this link here, enter a product description instead. So you can use that to describe your product, and then it will generate your copies based on your description. So let me show you what the landing page thing looks like first though. You can see that it's generated a description from my landing page, and go ahead and take a look at this, make sure that it is correct. It's grabbing the right info from your landing page. All of this looks good to me, so I'm going to go ahead and say create project. And now is where all the magic happens, right? So we have a few different tools that we can use, and let me quickly show you what everything is on this page before we actually generate our copies. So you can see that you can use Anyword to generate copy for platform-specific ads, which I think is amazing because copy that converts on one platform may not necessarily convert on another platform. So something that converts for Facebook and Instagram, for example, may not necessarily convert for Google Ads or LinkedIn or Twitter. I personally don't use Twitter or any of these other ones. Verizon native ads, I don't use those. But the ones that I do use are Facebook, Instagram, Google, and LinkedIn. So I will be doing future videos on generating copy for those platforms specifically as well. But for today, we're just going to focus on Facebook and Instagram. So that's what we have here. Now you can see that there's a tab for a headline, which is what you plug into your ads manager when you're creating an ad. So you can generate your primary text for your ad or your ads and also generate some headlines. You could just use one with all the different primary text copies that you have, or mix and match them to see what converts best. So let's look at the primary text first. And here you'll see that there are 4 different options. Now, creative is, very generic, and it actually produces really good copy. So let's go ahead and click on this. Now the custom mode, as you'll see here, is for pro users only. We're looking at the starter plan because in my opinion, the starter plan has so much that you can do with it already that I'm going to do pro in a future video. But for today, let's just look at all the good stuff that the starter package comes with. So here, let me use the keyword messenger bot. And I don't have a promotion right now. If I was running a promo, I would plug that in here. But for now, let's just go ahead and say generate. And you can see that it's generated a few different ad copies for me with predictive scores. So what I normally do is I love to test different lengths of ad copy. So I will test a short one, I will test a mid-length sometimes, but I always test a short and a longer ad copy. And the way I generate longer ad copies, because this tool doesn't really do that for you, there's no way to say, I want a longer copy, I want this many characters. It doesn't do that right now, at least in its current functionality. But what you can do, and what I do, and has worked really well for the campaigns that I've been running for both myself and my clients, is mix and match. So as you can see that these are all pretty short, so I will usually grab 1 or 2 of these and use them as my short ad copy test. Now, once I do that, I can go to list, and I tend to use both creative and list in conjunction with each other to build out more of my medium to longer ad copy. So let me show you what that looks like. I really like the list version. Now, keep in mind that when I go through these other options, I'm not going to lose these ad copies. So I can go ahead and generate all these different variations and then come in here and pick and choose the ones that I want to use. So in this case, let me say generate list. And you can see that in list form, it usually gives you a bullet point list with emojis, which I really like because I love using bullet points and emojis in my ad copy. I have found them to convert really well for me. So I really love this. So I love how they have different lists. You can go through them, see what really makes sense for your campaign. And what I do normally is I combine one or two of the creative mode copies, the ones that I think go well together, and then I will throw in one of these list form ones. Now, obviously, you will have to mix and match and see what really makes sense when you're doing that, but I'll probably use one of these. I actually like this one. Even though it has a lower predictive score, it's still in the green, so that gives me confidence that if I mix this with one of the higher converting or higher predictive score creative mode copies, that I will still have a pretty high converting ad copy. So if you hit the little floppy disk icon there, it saves it to the top. So you can see under saved, it saved it there. Now I can go down, I can choose more of those if I'd like to, or I can come down here to creative mode and say, I like this one better than that. You can see that sometimes they are a bit hit or miss, like your bot is ready. I'm not sure why I would use that in an ad copy because it's not ready. I'm asking people to buy the service and then it will be ready for them, right? So I would skip over that one, or you can even pull out a sentence or two. Feel free to get creative yourself as well. This still saves you a ton of time because if you've done any copywriting, you know that writer's block is a real thing. And with this tool, no matter how much customization you actually put in once you generate these copies, it still saves you from writer's block. You don't have to spend an hour or two like I do trying to come up with these ideas from scratch. So in this case, I would say this one is a pretty good ad copy for me. So I'm going to save this one. And I like this. I don't know if I would have used toys, but I think I like how it gives it that fun vibe to my ad copy. So I might try that one too. And so now I have, and I can go in and choose as many of these as I want to, but now you can see under the saved ones, I have these three. And so what I would do is maybe use just this one as its own ad copy, and then I would combine maybe all three of these, or even just the two of these to have a whole new ad copy to test. And I can do as many variations as I'd like to, depending on what my campaign is about. If it's a brand new audience, I would recommend that you test out more copies. But if it's a warmer audience, then you don't need to test more than one or two copies. So it depends on that. It also depends on your budget. But I do like knowing that there are two whole new and different frameworks available to me as well. So here you can see when you hover over this PAS one, PAS stands for Pain-Agitate-Solution. So that's a whole different framework, and we can take a look at what that looks like. It is pretty different from both creative and list. So let me show you what that one generates. And so you can see in the Pain-Agitate-Solution mode, they're still more like bullet points. They're not like conversational, but they're very to the point, and they do work great for certain industries. So definitely check these out. There's a lot of good stuff in these other options as well. In this specific case, you can see that these are in the yellow. I try to avoid the ones that are showing in the yellow. I try and stick with copies that are in the green. And so to me, it matters less if it's like 98% or 88% or 72%. As long as it's in the green, I know that I have pretty solid ad copies to work with. But that's just me. That's just the way I have found that I like working with this tool. And now let's look at the last option here, which is the AIDA framework, which stands for Attention, Interest, Desire, Action, as you can see from the tooltip. So if you hover over these, it actually tells you what it stands for, which is great. I would never remember that. So if I click on AIDA, let's go ahead and generate some copy with this framework, and you'll see that this is still different from the other ones that we've seen so far. Okay, here it is in AIDA mode. And so again, I have lots of good copy to choose from here, lots of green copies, and so, or green predictive scored copies. So I can grab any one of these and if I like them. But again, I just tend to stick with creative and list, but I would absolutely urge you to try this out for yourself because it's very different for different industries. Different things convert for different industries very differently. So go ahead and explore these for yourself as well. But in my case, what I have here is perfect for me to start with. So once I have these saved out, what I can do is a couple of different things. I can either copy it using this copy icon and paste it straight into my ads manager or my ads builder. Or if I want to mix and match, or if I want to collaborate with someone else on my team, for example, I really like this nifty little feature where we can export the saved copies to a CSV file. So if you go ahead and export this, what's handy about this is that you can just copy and paste the whole thing into a Google spreadsheet and then share that with whoever you like. Of course, you can share the CSV as well, but me and my team, we tend to use a lot of Google Docs and Google spreadsheets. So the way I have found is the best way to use this for myself is I will just take this and copy and paste it into a Google Doc and then share it with my team. And now I have their thoughts and their votes on which ones they want to go with. And then we have some copies to test. And before we wrap up, let me also show you what you can do with the headline, because the headline is extremely important in an ad. It's usually something that people will see even before they read your ad copy. So just to be clear, when we talk about hook in marketing, the hook is the first sentence or two in your ad copy, because if you look at a Facebook ad, you will see that it only shows the first sentence, depending on how long the sentence is, either the first or the first two sentences, and then it'll have like a little dot, dot, dot. So people have to click to see more, and that's when the rest of your ad copy will show up. So that part that Facebook shows a user before they click to see more is your hook. That's really important too, so make sure that when you're combining copies that you are keeping that in mind. The first sentence has to grab the attention of your viewer. Now, the headline is what you'll see under your creative. So it shows up in bold at the bottom along with a URL if you have one. So we definitely want to pay attention to the headline as well. It's equally important, if not even more important than your ad copy. So don't overlook this one. And this, as you can see, only has creative mode, which is fine. We only need creative mode for a one-line headline. So if I say generate, now you can see that it has come up with a bunch of different headlines, and I will normally pick one, sometimes two to test with, but I usually just scroll through this list, pick one of the green marked versions and plug that into my CSV or my Google Doc. And that's it. I test them with the different ad copies that I have selected, and I have my fully built out ad. And there you have it, a super advanced and cool tool to have in your toolbox, whether you're writing ads for clients or whether you're writing ads for yourself. This is way cheaper and way more convenient than hiring a marketing agency to do the same thing for you now that you have AI generated data and tools to simply plug and play for your own ad campaigns. If you're as excited as I am about this tool and want to give it a try for yourself, feel free to click on the link below in the description. Sign up for an account, you get 7 days free. And with the discount, you can either use the discount that is on the website itself right now, since they are running a 20% off promo, or use the discount coupon that I am including down below, especially if by the time you're watching this, if the promo is no longer valid. Feel free to use the promo code that I am including in the description for you below. Snag your 20% off and give it a try. Have fun, and I will see you on the next one.